Welcome to the Kat Nelson Show. I'm the one and only Kat Nelson, MMA fighter out of Orlando, Florida. You can join me on my journey to becoming the baddest bantamweight fighter in the world by following me on social at KatNoy11. This episode is brought to you by Black Lab Organics, all natural and organic dog treats. Our goal at Black Lab Organics is to create CBD-infused dog treats with real ingredients, because we believe that dogs deserve better. Follow us on social at Black Lab Organics or visit our website, blacklaborganics.com. Use discount code CAT10 to get 10% off your next order. Crazy about fights? The Fight Bananas podcast is all fight news and everything fight related. Follow them on social at Fight Bananas Official. You can also tune in on YouTube, all podcast platforms, and iHeartRadio. I train about 5 to 6 days a week, and as a fighter, I understand the importance of recovery. Fusion CBD products always has my back. I use their CBD oil every morning in my coffee and their CBD balms after trainings and before bed. And just like that, I feel brand new, ready to take on the next day. Follow them on social at Fusion CBD Products or visit their site fusioncbdproducts.com. New Dimensions Wellness Studio is a premium health, wellness, and performance center that combines cutting-edge technology with ancient wisdom. Every visit I make to New Dimensions, I leave feeling like a brand new woman. Whether you're an athlete that wants to excel in performance, undergoing rehab from an injury, or just want to take care of yourself, they will guide you to all your needs. Follow them on social at nd_wellness or visit their site, mynewdimension.com. Just Blaze Clothing is South Florida's #1 source of clothing for the cannabis community. They sell all types of apparel, accessories, and rolling trays, perfect for any stoner dude or stoner babe. Check them out on social at Just Blaze Clothing or on their website, justblazeclothing.com. Never stop, never quit. Support local fighters with Team Reaper. Team Reaper creates personal fight apparel just so fighters can make profit. I have my own fight apparel you can purchase on the website, reaper1.co. You can also follow them on social at Team Reaper 1. By purchasing my shirt, you will not only be supporting me, you will also be supporting this podcast, other fighters, and Rue Camp Champs, a youth crime prevention organization in my hometown, Orlando, Florida. Rue Camp Champs' mission is to get youth off of the streets and teach them martial arts. You can also donate to Rue Camp Champs at kidsmma.org.
And the hemoglobin.
Oh, big shot, spinning back fist by right hand. And that's
all.
She
Wow.
wrote. That's a wrap, son. Cat.
Hey guys, welcome to the Kat Nelson Show, episode 1. So before I introduce myself to those of you who don't know me, I want to talk about the UFC fight night this past weekend. I just really liked the amount of women fighting, and I'm really happy that MMA is becoming more popular within the female fight community, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start this podcast, because I want to reach out to a lot of women fighters, grapplers, competitors, and get them on here and pick their brains and learn about them and share ideas and all that goodness. So you'll be seeing a lot of girls on here. Wink, wink. All right. So to start off, Loma Lookboonmee versus Jinyu Fry. Loma Lookboonmee is only 24 years old. She's a traditional Muay Thai fighter. She is a savage in the clinch. Jinyu Fry, I had no idea who she was actually until this past weekend. She's 11-4, I believe. So she has a lot of experience compared to Lookboonmee. Although I feel like Lookboonmee probably has some smokers in Thailand, probably with Muay Thai. So Lookboonmee comes into the fight confident, comfortable. Jinyu Fry, she tries to figure out how to get into Lukbumi. She has her nice two because she's a southpaw, and she has she throws a few elbows, but when she tries to take Lukbumi down, Lukbumi just clinches her. She clinches her, and you don't want to be in Loma Lukbumi's clinch. So Jinyu Fry pretty much struggles the whole time. In the third round, Lukbumi's still throwing her teeps, her devastating low kicks. Whenever they clinch, she's throwing those elbows. Fry finally gets Loma down to the ground, and I feel like for an unexperienced grappler, Loma did a pretty good job getting back up. At the same time, Fry looked, she was bigger than Loma, and for example, me, when I grapple with smaller girls, it's harder to get a hold of them, and they get out of your grip sometimes unexpectedly. So that could have happened, but Loma gets up. She continues to keep her distance and wins unanimous decision. I am a fan of hers. Since she got into the UFC, I forgot who her first fight was against, but she completely dominated that fight. And then she fought Angie Hill. Jermaine Durandamy versus Juliana Pena. I personally like Jermaine. I actually hit her up when I started my dog tree business because she has a dog, and it's actually the same as my dog, so I thought that was cool. She hit me back up, and she wanted to try my treats, but I totally forgot that she's from the Netherlands, and I am not shipping internationally at the moment. So hopefully one day when I am able to speak to her again, if that happens, we can work something out. But anyways, I like these types of fights because I am a striker. I consider myself a striker, but I am getting better at my grappling, and I am turning into an MMA fighter. So this is a striker. I thought Jermaine was just a boxer, but she's actually like an 11-time Muay Thai champion, and Pena is a jiu-jitsu girl, I guess. But the first round, Jermaine comes out, tests her distance with her jab, and she actually hits Pena in, she takes a lot of blows to the head because of Jermaine's boxing. She's got that jab, first of all, and then she has that 1-2. She has this nice uppercut that she didn't really land. She just clipped her a little bit. And Jermaine gets comfortable. Pena is trying to find her way inside. And finally, at the end of the first round, she catches a teep, Jermaine's teep, and gets a takedown. It was like the final few seconds. So going into the second round, Pena knows that she has to take her down. Like, that's the only way she's going to win. She does so, but she has a hard time passing Jermaine's guard, and previously with Loma Lukbumi and Fry, same thing. Jermaine was a little bit bigger than Pena, and just like me, I'm a little bit bigger than a lot of girls that I train with, and we have longer limbs. It's harder to get past us. So I feel like that definitely put into play with Jermaine. She ends up on top, and they try to submit each other. They try to choke each other, and that's it for the second round. The third round is amazing. So Pena knows what she has to do. She has to close the distance and take her down again. They get in the clinch. They go against the cage. Pena goes for a single, And Durandamy guillotine chokes her out like cold. And I loved it. It was great. And that's that's what mixed martial arts is. It was a striker against a jiu-jitsu girl. And I know I'm going to have these types of fights because I'm a striker. So, yeah, that was my favorite just for Durandamy. Out of the three, Luke Boomy, Durandamy, and Holly Holm, she was my favorite, and I just personally like her, so that's why too. But on to Holm versus Irene Aldana. Holm is not retiring anytime soon, and she made that clear. I really liked the way she came out to this fight. She was literally moving nonstop from the time she came out to the end of the fight. And I've actually never seen her that aggressive. I feel like her previous fights, she was really nervous. She might have not been in the right mindset. Like, I know she's constantly moving, but during her fight, she's also like in her previous fights, she's also constantly like moving, like shaking, and I feel like that this time she was so much more comfortable and confident, and that really played a huge role in her win and domination. Pretty much, um, well, we know who she is. She's a kickboxer. She's one of the best in the game. Aldana is a Mexican boxer. She comes from Invicta, and she's actually known for her takedown defense. So Holm immediately puts on that forward pressure, and that's what I'm talking about with her confidence, because she usually doesn't do that, and this time she came in here to beat ass and win. Like, that's how I feel like girls should go into all of their fights. But um, yeah, so she does these like blitz 3-piece combinations or more. She keeps her distance. Oh my gosh, that side kick all night. That side kick, Irene did not have an answer for that. Um, I think like the second and third round, Irene, she's losing. She has to come up with an answer, and she just can't. Holly does a really good job of striking and then getting out of the way, striking and then getting out of the way. And Irene just can't seem to catch her or find something to land. They literally go in circles, and I know it might look stupid for like non MMA fans, but when you're in a fight, you're not seeing that. Like, you're not seeing that. It's just happening. It's adrenaline, and sometimes it happens, especially when you go against a chick like Holly Holm. So Holly eventually ends up on mount at one point. She mixes it up really well. Um, and yeah, she completely dominates, and I'm really happy for her. She's 38 years old, and that's the same age as my coach. And my coach actually wants to take one more fight. Um, and why not? If you're in good shape, if you love to fight, then go for it. So that's that for the women fighters. I'm going to light this up and talk about myself a little bit. So, my name is Kathleen Nelson, but ever since I was younger, like in sports, it's actually when I started playing softball. It was just too long of a name for my coach to say, so they started calling me a cat, and ever since then, it stuck. I'm 25 years old. My mother is from Thailand. My father is American. Um, I decided to fight. I've only been training for 2 years, by the way. Well, that's a lie. I've been training for 2 years at Fusion Excel Performance. But before that, I tried kickboxing. I did some boxing classes, but it wasn't really like, I'm going to be a fighter. It was like, I want to lose weight. I want to learn how to defend myself. And that's pretty much it. I think there was a point where I was weightlifting a lot, and I told myself that I have so much more potential. Like, my body needs to move differently. I need to do something with my body. And I started fighting. I do come from a taekwondo background, but it was not like competition or anything. It was more just like learning technical straight punches, um, kicking, and the most I've sparred was just in the classes. Um, but yeah, I started going to a gym downtown at first, downtown Orlando, and they didn't really take me seriously. I don't blame them. I was just a chick that showed up, and a pretty chick, which is what they said. So a pretty chick that they just didn't think could fight. But anyways, I stayed with them for a little bit. I started striking with them, and then I found out about Fusion, and I found out that if you really want to fight, like, this is the place to be. They have pro fighters, they have UFC fighters, they have a lot of amateurs that are trying to come up. And I was like, whatever, fuck it, let's do it. I went in there and I got my ass beat. Like, I got my ass beat for a good 3 months. But my first sparring session, I got my ass destroyed. Like, destroyed. It was really bad. I had I had like a black eye, busted lip, bad. But what happened was that I didn't let that discourage me. I just think that the people that I sparred with were either not right-minded because they knew I was new, or I just had to pick up the pace eventually. And I showed up the next Monday, and I was like, I'm here. I want to get better. And now I'm here. I have had 3 kickboxing fights, 2 MMA fights. I'm mostly proud of my last MMA fight because I feel like I worked really hard for it, and it really showed. And yeah, so that's my fight career. So far, I want to go pro. Eventually, I don't know a specific time, but just going with the flow. And yeah, maybe the UFC. Well, most likely the UFC. I don't really want to fight for any other promotion. Like, the goal is UFC. And I guess that's because I'm surrounded by UFC fighters. So, but it's not a bad goal. So I'm sticking to it. I also have a business. that I want to mention. It's called Black Lab Organics. These are some of our treats. It's mint cookies. I also have 2 more products, PB Nugs and Pumpkin Kush. It's a work in progress, but if you want to support this podcast and you have a dog, check us out. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I have for you. I'm going to finish smoking this. And my episodes will be every Thursday. I don't know a specific time yet. I think that's bad. I should know. But it's either 7 or 8, somewhere around that time. I'll figure it out, and I'll let you guys know. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. And I'm really excited. I'm going to be talking about cannabis, fighting, obviously. And I'm under Fight Bananas with David Van Auken, who's a super, super cool dude. And yeah, a variety of things. But the main goal is talking about cannabis and the benefits and CBD and for athletes especially. But yeah, hopefully you're not offended. If you are, all right, guys. Good night. Thanks for tuning in.